Hey you guys, what is up? It's your boy Blaze here, coming at you once again from Need Input. So check it out everybody, I've got a big one for you today. I've covered tech before its time before, but when I saw this, I was just blown away. You guys remember years ago I covered hover lawnmowers? I originally covered on my old Need Input channel, I think back in 2018. Then when that channel was deleted, I uploaded it to this channel. Well, if you never saw one of those before and thought they were cool, get ready for this. During World War II and the Korean War, the military had a huge problem. Amphibious landing and transport craft used on D-Day were good, but not the best idea. Many sunk, and many of the amphibious tanks used sank along the coast as well. So the military made it a top priority to figure out what can be done to prevent this. The idea was to make a lightweight amphibious vehicle about the size of a Willys Jeep, yet operates in a totally different way. A corporation called Curtiss Wright, known for developing aircraft, jumped in and got the contract, claiming that they think they can develop something and use aircraft engines as the solution. Getting inspiration from the UK and their development of hovercrafts 5 years prior, they got to work and developed the Curtiss Wright 2500 Air Car. Designed by Studebaker Packard, who was working with Curtiss Wright, the air car was influenced by car designs at the time and looked like a big rectangular block. It included twin headlights, turn signals, bumpers, and everything else you'd expect of a car. It seated 4 people in a row and was equipped with an automotive-style dashboard with a steering wheel and a boat-like throttle that controlled it with adjustable vents on each 4 corners of the vehicle that directed air from the fans to steer it and for acceleration and slight braking. Oh, and it was a convertible, as they thought a roof for such a vehicle would not be needed and would just add more weight, as it already weighed 2,700 pounds, which isn't much for cars back then, but a roof would add weight and slow the speed, which the car could only do 38 miles per hour on land and water. Unfortunately, their goal to make it small and lightweight wasn't achieved. The air car was 21 feet long, 8 feet wide, and 5 feet tall. Though it could carry 4 people, most of the space and the reason it was so big was due to the engines. It was powered with 2 Lycoming aircraft engines, each with 180 horsepower mounted on the front and rear to give it lift. At full power, the air car could float about 15 inches off the ground on a cushion of air and could lift payloads of up to 1,000 pounds. The military loved this concept, and Curtiss Wright made another prototype called the Hippo, with a convertible top and powered by 2 Continental 85 horsepower aircraft engines, and it could lift 6 inches off the ground and travel at 35 miles per hour. 2 prototypes were bought by the US Army in the 1960s for evaluation and demonstrating their interest in such amphibious hover vehicles. Curtiss Wright was excited the Army was so interested in their air cars that they started thinking of other designs for commercial use and competing against General Motors and Ford. They came up with a few concepts: the single-seater air car that had a canopy that goes over the cockpit, a variation of the 2500 air car that could seat 4, a utility air car for transport, and a planned production of the 2500 air car. They wanted to really compete with all other car makers and attract customers, so they also came up with a large 2-seater with big tail fins in the back, a sporty sedan with a powerful engine, and another utility one, more like a speedboat and a pickup truck style one as well. They were so confident in these that they showed the public a prototype at the Daytona Speedway. So, did consumers get a hover car in the 1960s? Well, yes and no. Curtiss Wright focused more on prop aircraft engines, while the times were changing and other car companies like Boeing and Lockheed were focused on developing jet engines. This caused Curtiss Wright to lose numerous military contracts and funding. After extended tests, the military, despite having 2 prototypes, abandoned the project due to the air car not being able to hover over rough terrain. Curtiss Wright, not wanting to drop all of the effort they put into this project, didn't want to lose everything they'd done, so they created a smaller, more stylish concept called the Bee and released a major ad campaign for consumers to buy it. They pushed advertisements and continued showing off their air cars at many events. But the people were worried. The air car was competing with regular cars, and Curtiss Wright wanted everyone to be driving them on regular roads and highways amongst other cars. But there was a big problem. The air car was big and loud. Even the smaller Concept B model, it didn't maneuver very well over rough surfaces, could only do about 38 miles per hour, and then there was questioning of the steering and stopping. The air car steered with the vents on the side redirecting air to turn it left or right, but because it was hovering, this was not precise, as you could imagine. And it didn't have a brake pedal either. Instead, it also redirected air frontwards to slow down, and this definitely was dangerous, as it drifted and didn't stop very fast. This was a major cause of concern for consumers, as it could easily crash and cause an accident. With numerous air cars on the road, it would be like bumper cars. Curtiss Wright tried to claim this is the future, but people quickly realized that a car floating on air drifts around and is not safe. Just imagine driving in traffic on a cushion of air and not being able to stop, or drifting left and right slamming into other vehicles. So, eventually Curtiss Wright, who was having financial trouble, gave up on air cars and the project was abandoned. To this very day, 2 air cars still actually exist, one sitting at the U.S. Army Transportation Museum in Virginia, and the other rotting away sitting near a warehouse in New Jersey. Now, if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Smash that like button and hit that little bell icon to get notified when I upload more videos. It takes a lot of time to film and edit all my videos, so if you enjoy my videos and want to support my channel, consider becoming a Patreon supporter. The link is in the description box right down below. So, what's the Mandela effect here? Well, I don't remember hovercrafts being invented until around the late 1960s, early 1970s time frame. Now, in this current history, they were invented by Christopher Cockerell in the early 1950s, who was doing experiments with crafts that can float on a cushion of air. Then, the American military tried to develop hovercrafts for military use that looked like flying saucers. The US Army even developed a Hillard VZ-1 Pony, a hovercraft a soldier could hover around and shoot enemies on in the 1950s. The pilot would shift his weight to control it. General Motors was experimenting with hovercrafts in the early 60s, and VW had a commercial one people could actually buy. Heck, people were practically building personal ones in their backyard. I don't remember hovercrafts being a thing back then. I've never seen images of them from the 50s and 60s, and I definitely never seen or heard of an air car that was being advertised for consumers to soon buy, with concepts being shown to the public. I know after World War II our military was doing a lot of testing with experimental technology and vehicles, but I don't remember hovercraft technology being a thing back then. Not to the late 60s and early 70s did they start experimenting with that. I remember around the late 1970s and 1980s commercial hovercraft vehicles were just starting to appear. Heck, I remember in the late 1980s and 1990s hovercrafts were a big thing with kids magazines like Boys Life, having ads at the back of them to build your own, and kids going crazy wanting it, so dads tried to build it for them, and dads building tiny hovercrafts for their kids using wood and leaf blowers. So do you guys remember hovercrafts being invented in the 1950s and the air car? It seems strange to me that hovercraft was invented and then boom, not long after, air cars are a thing, and the military is experimenting with hovering platforms for soldiers to shoot off of? Just crazy. Well, let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. And until next time, it's your boy Blaze here from Need Input saying remember, be kind, rewind your mind. Peace out everybody, and God bless.